This lesson is all about calligraphy. So calligraphy is lettering done by pen. Traditionally, you would actually have quill pens, but we also have these metal dip pens here. So these use ink. You can see that there are actually like two metal pieces here. And in between those metal pieces, there's something called capillary action that soaks the ink in there, and then as you push down on it, releases the ink in different widths. Okay, so we have a different width nib. Okay, these are called nibs, and they're used to make different styles of lettering. I also have, which we will practice first, because they're a little bit easier. The dip pens are a little bit tricky. We have these calligraphy markers. So there are two ends, a thin end and a thicker end. Okay, and you notice that these are a little bit different than regular markers. They have a flat edge here. This one got a little bit beat up, but should be totally flat. And that's really important for calligraphy. So I have some in different colors. I want to start out with just plain black. Where's my black? Here we go. So the first thing that we're going to do before we do the letters, okay, because this is very different than calligraphy. So than cursive. For cursive, right, you connect the letters. So if I wanted to write, so here we have practice strokes. If I wanted to write that in cursive, and maybe I'll use a regular pen. All right, so I'm doing one continuous line. All right, calligraphy is much different. All right, so for calligraphy, we use different sections. So I pick up my pen. So for each line, I'm picking up my pen. And I ran out of room. All right. So these strokes are going to help us learn how to create these letters. But first, we need to get some muscle memory in our hands. So the first thing, we have these boxes here, and this is a 45-degree angle. All right. So this is what I want my pen to line up with. So I'm using the flat part. I'm not using the pointy part of my pen. I need to have it flat, all the way flat on the edge here. Okay, and then I'm going to bring that same edge. So I'm going to all the way flat on the paper, but at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to pull down and then pull across. Pull down and across. All right. It changes if I change my angle. So this is the 45-degree. Okay. If I go straight here and I pull down and across, that looks way different. Okay. That's not correct. If I do it this way, pull down and across, nope, not right. If I just use the edge of the pen, nope, not right. All right. So this is what we want to practice most of all, is keeping that 45-degree and keeping my pen flat all the way. All right. So on your practice sheet, you're going to go all the way to the edge. All right. So I would actually go all the way to the end. Okay. We're practicing that muscle memory. So same thing here. 45 degrees, But see, when I do this stroke, it's totally thin because I'm keeping my pen in that same 45-degree angle. Okay, so this is probably the most important part of using calligraphy pens, is creating that thick and thin using the right angle in your calligraphy. For this too, so in calligraphy, we always kind of go down. So I'm not pushing up, okay? Especially the dip pens do not like that at all. So I'm always going down, pulling toward me. Right? So I'm going to pull down. I can go up a little bit, but I'm not going up a lot on this one. Pulling down. So the pen does the work for you. Okay? You don't have to make it thin and thick. The pen, because it's thin on one side and thick on the other, will do the work for you. So here again, we're going to pull down, over, down. Okay, so I'm picking up my pen. Each time I start a new line. So it's almost the opposite of cursive. So again, I'm going to pull down. Okay, so I'm not going this. I'm always pulling down. This one is combining 2 strokes. Okay, so that's different from some of the other ones. But here we already have a letter and the start of many, many different letters. Okay, O, D, B, all kinds. All right. All right, so there are practice strokes.